on YouTube? It's the Nerdy Gainer. Welcome to my channel, and if this is your first time here, I hope you can hit that like and subscribe button if you're into the content that I provide. Alright, now going straight into the video, we're going to be discussing who is the strongest Saber servant, with Blue Saber from Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works and Fate Zero, Saber of Red and Saber of Black from Fate Apocrypha, and Red Saber from Fate Last Encore. I'm doing this weakest to strongest and anime only feats. I'm not going to be going into the graphic novels or the games, because if I do that, then certain sabers will just demolish the rest, and I want to keep this as fair as possible. But I will be diving into the games and graphic novels when it comes to describing certain noble phantasms and abilities that each saber possesses. But right now, we're going to have spoilers. I'm going to be dropping huge spoiler bombs after this, because I will be revealing each one of the sabers' noble phantasms and their identity. I'm doing this because it's really hard to keep track with all the sabers, because 2 of them are wearing red and 3 of them look exactly like identical twins. They're basically the same damn character. What is wrong with y'all? Why do y'all make them the same damn character? So yeah, huge spoilers coming your way. So if you haven't seen any of the Fates or don't know anything about Fate lore, I would highly suggest watching that before getting onto this video. But if you're still here, let's get it started. Starting off with the weakest out of the 4, it gots to be Saber from Fate Last Encore, also known as Nero, Claudius, Caesar, Augustus, Dominicus, and I know that name is long as hell, but you got to say it all. I put her here because she is a perfect example of a glass cannon. When looking at her fights, her track record isn't good the first time around. For example, she got clapped by Rider, Archer, Assassin, Saber, Buddha. Some of these actually only took 1 hit to take her out. I do give Nero some credit though, because out of all the sabers, she does pack the most versatile abilities when it comes to noble phantasms and abilities. But that can only take you so far, especially if Nero got dropped by Rider's Wild Hunt. Now imagine if that was an Excalibur, a Bao Mu, or maybe a Clarent Blood Arthur straight to the face. I don't care what anybody says, if Nero's tanking that, she's gonna take an L. Nero's main noble phantasm, Imperial Privilege, lets her use the other servants' noble phantasms and even their skills for short periods of time. So Nero could actually use any of the Saber's skills like she did with Lee Shuane and Francis Drake. But we seen Mordred handle Saber of Black and Artoria beat the Nameless Samurai, both of these foes arguably having better sword skills than even them. So skill alone won't be the end all be all in this battle, seeing as how Nero still got beat by Gawain, and I say beat, I mean she got demolished by Gawain because of the power difference. And I honestly see the other sabers doing the exact same thing in this battle. Another noble phantasm that Nero possesses is Thrice Setting Sun. This gives her the ability to revive herself 3 times, but only if she prepares all the necessary requirements before death. Using this, she could get any of the sabers with a sneak attack like she did with Robin Hood, and it's not hard to believe she could pull it off. Mordred did get tricked the exact same way by Frankenstein's monster, but the thing is, all of these sabers are tanks, and I don't think Nero has what it takes to kill them. She's just outclassed. The only thing the other sabers would have to worry about is Nero's Istis Domos Aurea. This is a reality marble manifesting in the real world. It's a theater that Nero can completely control, but that's not the dangerous part. It's actually when she uses her sword Isis Estis. When having this sword in the theater, Nero is able to use a skill known as Los Saint Claudius. This is when her sword is engulfed in flames and she charges, dealing enough damage to take out Lee Shuane in 1 hit, and even take out a super strong but injured Gawain. The only downside to this feat is that her master was giving her a huge magic amp, so she wouldn't be able to replicate that feat. And even if she did, Mordred took a magic and command spell enhanced blasted tree to the face, Artoria deflected Enuma Elish with Avalon, and a weaker Siegfried held back Karna's full-powered Vasvi Shakti for some time. All 3 of these easily being stronger than anything Nero possesses in her arsenal. Coming in at 3rd, we have hands down the coolest and most hard-headed saber, the Saber of Red from Fate Apocrypha, also known as Mordred Pendragon. Mordred is in 3rd because she's basically a copy and paste of Artoria when it comes to noble phantasms and abilities. Plus, in the anime, a weaker version of Siegfried handled a command spell at Mordred, so I don't see this fight swinging her way. But at the end of the day, it won't be easy. Whether it's Artoria or Siegfried, they would have to put up the biggest fight of their life just to get the 1-up on Mordred. Starting off with Mordred's abilities, she has a noble phantasm called Secret of Pedigree. This is a helmet that can hide her identity and even gender. This helmet actually works so good that even her masters won't be able to tell. But this wouldn't really help her because she has to take it off in order to use her strongest noble phantasm. And when battling Artoria or Sieg, she will have to bring out all her trump cards in order to stay alive, so her identity will have to be revealed to go all out. Mordred also has an ability known as a Mana Burst, which is basically using magic to boost Mordred's speed and physical attacks. This is deadly as hell because she can spam it like she did with Samirami's, but the only problem here is that Artoria possesses the exact same ability. And Sieg, just learning how to borrow Siegfried's power, could still keep up with the command spell enhanced Mordred in battle. And if y'all don't know who Sieg is, he's basically a homunculus who borrows Siegfried's power. He isn't as strong as the original Siegfried, but man, that dude is powerful nonetheless. Getting back to Mordred, her main noble phantasm, Clarent Blood Arthur, is a sword that allows Mordred to focus all her hatred for her mother and mana into one attack. But to put it plain and simple, it's pretty much a copy and paste of Artoria's Excalibur. Also, Siegfried has another version of this called Balmung. So if they really wanted to, they could just cancel Mordred's attacks with their own, like Sieg did in Fate Apocrypha. But the only thing that makes me believe Mordred will lose against Artoria is that in the flashback for Mordred, she did take away Artoria's sword in the fight. But Artoria came back fast, blitzing Mordred with no diff. And if that wasn't enough, Artoria is going to be packing Avalon. And with Avalon, she literally deflected one of the most strongest attacks in Fate, Enuma Elish. So I can't see Mordred doing enough damage to really take her out. And like how I've been saying in this video, Sieg, not Siegfried, was pressing Mordred with the command seal. I can only imagine how 100% Siegfried would do in this exact situation. Surprisingly, in second place, we have the OG Saber herself, Artoria Pendragon. This was an incredibly hard decision, especially if we gave Artoria Avalon. But you'll see why I came to this conclusion once we bring up Siegfried and how all of his noble phantasms and abilities work against a character like Artoria. Starting off with Artoria's skills, her main skill, Mana Burst, is just like Mordred's. Artoria can increase her speed and strength for that certain attack, but it can be spammed like crazy, making every hit deadly. The only thing about this is that a weaker version of Siegfried handled the same mana burst without difficulty, so this won't be a problem for the real deal. Another skill that Artoria possesses is Instinct. This skill gives Artoria a type of precognition, letting her feel when an attack will come and the best way to counter it. This will help Artoria stay in the fight for a long time by helping her slip and counter through plenty of Siegfried's moves like she did with the Nameless Samurai and Fate Unlimited Blade Works. Now getting into her noble phantasms, Artoria has Invisible Wind. This makes her sword invisible, making it hard to tell the length of the sword and her true identity. But this really won't be much help because any skilled servant could be able to tell the length of the sword like everyone did in Fate Unlimited Blade Works. Another noble phantasm, Excalibur, is a huge beam of magical energy. This will take out any other servant class, but like we said with Mordred, Siegfried has Balmung, which is basically the same thing, so they could potentially cancel each other out. The biggest advantage that Artoria has in this battle is Avalon. This is the sheath of Excalibur. It contains healing properties so great that when a weak as hell Shiro got hit by Big Hulk Hercules himself, he still survived. And when Saber had it, she actually defected Gilgamesh's Enuma Elish. This is impressive because in her first battle with Gil, she actually got stomped by the same attack without Avalon. But the only thing is, Gil wasn't being serious, only letting out a fraction of Ea's true potential and power. Like compare this to what he did in Zero to Iskandar's Reality Marble. Ea is a monster at full potential. Taking the number one spot, it's the Saber of Black from Fate Apocrypha, Siegfried. So I know everybody's saying, how the hell would overpowered Artoria with Avalon even lose to Siegfried? Well, it's mainly because of Siegfried's abilities and how they stack on, especially to characters like Mordred and Artoria. And a big warning, there's going to be a lot of ability stacking when it comes to Siegfried, so you might get confused, so you're probably going to want to pay a little bit more attention when I bring up his abilities and noble phantasms. Starting off with his noble phantasm, the Armor of Fafnir. This is an armor that can cancel out any B rank or lower attack, and any A rank attacks are brought down to E rank. Basically meaning most attacks won't hurt him, and the ones that should severely injure him would only inflict minor damage. Siegfried's other noble phantasm, Bao Mung, is a sword, and with this sword he's able to release magical energy from the crystal that is located on the hilt of the sword. And when this magic is released, it's concentrated into one attack, so it's basically like Artorias' Excalibur. The only difference is that this sword does more damage to characters with the dragon trait, and lucky for him, characters like Artoria and Mordred possess this trait. He also has a skill known as Dragon Slayer skill. He is able to reduce the damage taken and increase the damage he inflicts to characters with the dragon trait. So basically with this skill, the armor of Fafnir, Bao Mung stacked with it, he's able to tank a whole lot more of Artorias' attacks and inflict a lot more damage than he usually would because of Artorias' dragon trait. And if y'all have seen either one of Siegfried vs Karna's fights, you'll know Siegfried was taking nukes to the dang face and only received a scratch. So I don't think Artoria has anything to really hurt Siegfried. Even if she didn't have the dragon trait, it would be extremely hard for her to do any real damage. But since Artoria does have the dragon trait, it would be that much harder to do any real lasting damage on Siegfried. His feats are also nothing to laugh at. Artoria did hold back Enuma Elish, but this attack was from a Gilgamesh not even close to trying. While on the other hand, Sieg borrowing Siegfried's power was enough to hold back Karna's full-powered Vasavi Shakti for some time, this feat being as impressive or even more impressive than that of Artoria's. But because of all of the power and defense stacking against characters with the dragon trait, and just raw strength in general, I gotta give it to Siegfried, the Saber of Black. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope y'all can smash that like and subscribe button if you enjoyed the video, and I know some of y'all are gonna disagree with my ranking, so let me know how y'all would rank them down in the comment section. And you never know, we could probably have a little debate. So have a nice day and stay tuned.